All right, how's everybody doing? Still struggling with task 4. The last 3 times we run into an error when running Rubius, and so we're not going to do that. We're not going to run Rubius. We're not going to actually complete the task. It occurs to me that, as I mentioned in the introduction here, because we have full access to the network, there's nowhere they can really hide flags. Let me see if I can find the actual statement. I think it's in task 2 maybe. Since we provide you with okay, so this should be you. Since we provide you with full access over the entire domain, we can't really hide any flags or force you to make sure you perform these persistence techniques yourself before answering the question. So there's really no flags in this room, and that's going to be kind of a blessing in disguise, because there's no way we can really complete this task so long as what I think is happening, which is that the server is being vandalized. So we're not going to. We're going to do what we can in terms of just kind of going through the motions of sending commands and whatnot in the tasks that we can, and otherwise just answering the questions from the reading. And already we're running into problems where we can't start the network. Let's try, started. The network has been scheduled to start. This process may take up to 5 minutes. Might as well go ahead and reset it, since it's going to need resetting most likely. But yeah, that's where we're at. They don't have any flags here in this room, and we can't get any flags. Hi, Trent. So we're going to take a different tact this time around. I mentioned here in task 2, it says that I'll reread it now that there are people here. We can't really hide any flags or force you to make sure you perform these persistent techniques, so we're not going to. We're just going to go through the motions, get as far as we can, and when necessary, just abandon ship and just answer the questions. So I don't know if you saw in Discord, I posted a link to some other YouTuber. It's Ramsey something, completing this task, and to my untrained eye, it seems like he did everything we did, only didn't run into any problems. In fact, he got some little things wrong, like apparently file admin, it's in camel notation, but when he executed the command, he didn't use camel notation. It was all lowercase, and it's still executed correctly. So the fact that there's some leeway to get some of this wrong and he still got it right, whereas we got it wrong, it looks like I'm almost certain that's on TryHackMe's end. All right, so we're just gonna skip ahead. Those of you watching this in repeat rather than live, I think at least one other video where I try to go through this task is still up. So check that out for all the command typing you want, but we never get it to work. So we're just gonna skip over all that and go to the questions. What key is used to sign certificates to prove their authenticity? What key, let me try that again, is used to sign certificates to prove their authenticity? That's pretty, that just deserves a meme there.
Can't be that simple.
It is that simple. What application can we use to forge a certificate if we have the CA certificate and private key? It's I think it's just certforge.exe. Just trying to remember. I didn't do any prep for this, so forge cert. Let me see if I can type that correctly. Oh, wow. I'm all over the place today. I should do some sort of warm-up behind the scenes like pianists do or singers. I should spend 30 minutes like just practice typing and speaking out loud. All right, what is the Mimikatz command to pass a ticket from a file with the name of ticket.kirby? Oh, this one I'm not going to get. What is the Mimikatz command to pass? Well, we get the ticket.kirby part, so that's a gimme. And we know there's 2 colons in there. But beyond that, didn't get a chance to watch it? That's okay. Mimikatz, pass the ticket. Oh, pass the ticket, PTT, right? So PTT is part of it. And then Kerberos, maybe? Holy cow. Sometimes I amaze even myself. All right, task 5. We're going to have the robot read this. I barely got through that little bit of reading. Trent, you got it too? We're both amazing. Task 5, here we go.
The security identifiers, SIDs, have been discussed before. But for a recap, SIDs are used to track the security principal and the account's access when connecting to resources. There is, however, an interesting attribute on accounts called the SID history. The legitimate use case of SID history is to enable access for an account to effectively be cloned to another. This becomes useful when an organization is busy performing an AD migration, as it allows users to retain access to the original domain while they are being migrated to the new one. In the new domain, the user would have a new SID, but we can add the user's existing SID in the SID history, which will still allow them to access resources in the previous domain using their new account. While SID history is good for migrations, we, as attackers, can also abuse this feature for persistence. History can be whatever we want it to be. The thing is, SID history is not restricted to only including SIDs from other domains. With the right permissions, we can just add a SID of our current domain to the SID history of an account we control. Some interesting notes about this persistence technique. We normally require domain admin privileges or the equivalent thereof to perform this attack. When the account creates a logon event, the SIDs associated with the account are added to the user's token, which then determines the privileges associated with the account. This includes group SIDs. We can take this attack a step further if we inject the enterprise admin SID, since this would elevate the account's privileges to effective be domain admin in all domains in the forest. Since the SIDs are added to the user's token, privileges would be respected even if the account is not a member of the actual group, making this a very sneaky method of persistence. We have all the permissions we need to compromise the entire domain, perhaps the entire forest, but our account can simply be a normal user account with membership only to the domain users group. We can up the sneakiness to another level by always using this account to alter the SID history of another account, so the initial persistence vector is not as easily discovered and remedied.
Cool.
Forging history. Get an SSH session on THMDC using the administrator credentials for this next part. Before we forge SID history, let's just first get some information regarding the SIDs. Firstly, let's make sure that our low-privileged user does not currently have any information in their SID history.
Okay, let's make sure. Oh, you know what? I was kind of, this is the first time seeing this task, so I forgot all about getting access so that I wouldn't bore everybody doing that. But I'm getting better at doing this quickly, so hopefully it won't take too long here. Explicit. Glad you came back. I was afraid that we performed so poorly last night that you wouldn't ever want to visit our live streams again. So I'm glad you're back. What we did was we just skipped over a bunch of task 4 and just answered the questions, and we're going to see how far we can get in task 5 despite the again, I'm assuming that the server has been tampered with. So that's where we're at. Where's my downloads? Whatever. Open directory. We're up to pad 6 since we last started. This is probably actually pad 20 by this point. And let's see here. Pentest Plus. I hope to take that eventually. Right now, I'm working towards the PMPT. Do you have any interest in that? Trent has worked with the Cyber Mentor before. His actual name escapes me, and I've interacted with him for a little bit, and he seems like a great guy, and the PMPT seems like a very valuable certification, so that's the next one I'm after. And just to elaborate for those of you at home who can't see, now you guys are great. Thank you. My baby woke up and got my attention for a good chunk. I don't like having to compete with a baby, but okay. Got to listen here and there. Also, I need to be working on my Pentest Plus study. Heath. He is good people. I agree. I concur. All right. This never goes well, but we'll see this time. Let's see if we can get credentials. And by the way, as I inch ever closer to being a professional, we're going to look at the time left here and tell Alexa, set an alarm.
Alarm for what time?
1 hour.
1 hour alarm set for 9:18 p.m.
All right, so hopefully we'll be able to reset the network before it goes down. All right, get an SSH session. Wait, is that the section we're on already? Using the administrator credentials for this part. Before we forge SID history, let's just figure out some information regarding the SIDs. Firstly, let's make sure that our low privilege user, okay, so it's a good thing I reread that, because the last I heard the robot say was something about a low privilege user, so Freudian slip. I would have thought to have logged on as our Grace Clark account, but it wants us to log in as an administrator, so, and it's on THM. What happened? THM work1 at za.tryhackme.loc. What did I do wrong? Can't be established. Yes. And his password. Oh, just Googled it? Got it. I was looking at some cybersecurity classes at UW Wisconsin-Madison. I have been thinking, what's the one I've been looking at? It's the one where you work at your own pace and all the tests are just certifications. But I talked to one of the, not counselors, not recruiters, maybe it was a counselor, and I wasn't really impressed by her. I'll have to look it up again. But I see a lot of people on LinkedIn, mostly ex-military, saying that that's where they're getting their masters in cybersecurity, and they're all doing it in like a matter of months or weeks even. But it's still a very legitimate degree, just because in order to achieve it, you have to get like 12 different certifications. So WGU, I think that's it. All right, what am I doing here? I'm changing directories into. I can't do. Eventually, I'll get good enough to like type and think at the same time. Not currently, though. After typing and thinking, then typing and thinking and talking all at once. Yeah, WGU. Now what's gone wrong? Seems to come highly recommended. City. Oh, I don't have to put in the squiggly thing. I learned that last night by accident. Where are my creds? Why did I? Okay, whatever. And now I need the password. Connection resets. Is it a new IP that we have to get after? All right, I gotta unplug and. Sometimes my scroll wheel goes down and I have to unplug and replug in my KVM. I'm missing parts of the SSH. Am I? No? What is going on? Alright, I'm gonna right click like a noob. Permission denied. Public key cast. What is going on? Let me reread the instructions. Get an SSH session on THM-DC using the administrator credentials. Okay, so we're in the wrong server. That's the first problem. Before we forge SID history. All right, I don't know why I thought, because every time we go use Grace Clark or do anything Grace Clark related, we're on THM Work 1. So that's I mean, I guess it's no excuse, obviously, but that's where my mind was going off the rails. No, I promise I'm doing everything right this time. Just ZA administrator, THM-DC, ZA try hack me to lock. Copy. Paste. I'm spelling administrator right this time around. And there's a second. Okay. This isn't the right asset. Let me review SSH, shall we? If you want to add a gold star onto your resume, do some PCI stuff. I added PCI to my experience on LinkedIn. An employer swarmed me immediately. I've heard that. In a number of places, so I gotta start doing PCI stuff. Step 1, look up what PCI means. But I know I've heard that before. It's just a dot, it's not a @ symbol. Is this correct? It's weird that I didn't get an error message saying like, no, that's all wrong. Learn to do CH or SSH syntax. What is wrong with me? All right, I think just the self-deprecating humor is compounding my mistakes, so I'm gonna ease up. Just know that I am deeply ashamed when I make these mistakes. Just take that as a given. All right, so we're here, finally. Now we want to look up our low-level user and see if she has any history. Oh, okay, payment card industry. That's from Security Plus, which I did pretty well on, but apparently I have not retained a lot of the information. Too much head trauma. Certifying that you are secure enough to handle credit cards. Got it. Grace Clark. Grace Clark. Properties, SID, history. Member of. So no SID history yet. All right, I heard a big crash that I'm gonna have to go check out, so bear with me for a moment. I gotta make sure everybody's okay. All right, you guys heard that too. Apparently it was a mini fridge falling over, so, but apparently everybody is okay, so. Back at it, and I'm happy to report that my Stream Deck is working flawlessly thus far. When I press to mute my microphone, I get a WAV file piping into my monitor saying your microphone is muted, which took me a little while to get that to work, but everything's going good. This confirms that our user does not currently have any SID history set. Let's get the SID of the domain admins group, since this is the group we want to add our SID history to. I am going to be lazy and just copy and paste this. And copy and paste it. And right click and paste. Alright, we could use something like Mimikatz to add SID history. However, the latest version of Mimikatz has a flaw that does not allow it to patch LSASS to update SID history. Hence, we need to use something else. In this case, we will use the DS internal tools to directly patch the NTDS DIT file, the AD database where all the information is stored. Let's see here. First of all, I just want to inquire with the Oracle to see if Mimikatz is still unable to patch SID history. So chat says that it is able to patch LSASS for updating SID history. Of course, the Oracle is a little behind the times. Let's see here. So who's more current, this room or chat? What's the Mimikatz command for? Oh, whatever Mimikatz they're using isn't going to be updated though, so we're just going to have to do it the way they want. But I'm interested in maybe trying this out on my own time. In this case, we'll use disinternals tools to directly patch the. I read this part already. All right. So stop service name NTDS force, add ADD BS SID history, SAM account name, user name, and then what? Where do we start using DS internals? I don't see any. Okay. The NTDS database is locked when the NTDS service is running. In order to patch our SID history, we must first stop the service, right? You must restart the NTDS service after the patch, otherwise authentication for the entire network will not work anymore. Man, don't give anybody any more ideas for how to screw up the server. My last job interview was for a local area bank. It's actually, I mean, the headquarters are local. It's actually an international bank. And it was for cybersecurity tech writing with a legal angle to it. And given that I've written patents before and am a published technical author and just, got out of a cybersecurity boot camp with Security Plus certification, I thought for sure I was a shoo-in, but I didn't get it for whatever reason. I got through like 2 rounds of interviews, and they said it went to somebody with more experience, but I find that hard to believe. And after that, just became catatonically depressed and haven't looked for another interview since. So that's where we're at. After these steps have been performed, not really. Writing security stuff would be really cool, especially in the age of chat, because I would just outsource all of my work to it and play Zelda all day. All right, so I'm not saying we're using DS Eternals tools. Let's paste these one at a time and see what happens. Ball sack. Indeed. Alright, stop service. Name NTDS Force. Add ADBS SID history. It's a whole lot of continents there. Consonants. Oh, that is just part of the command. Alright, I thought that was output. Username of our low privileged AD account. Keep going. They probably could have abbreviated that better. I is short for I, and D is short for identification. Grace.Clark SID to add to the history. We need this then. Whoa, that was incorrect. What happened? I pasted it in the wrong place. All right, Alt backspace. Does that do anything? Control Alt Shift backspace. There's got to be a way to delete lots of things at once. There's not. All right. Just do this manually then. I'm just going to right click for now and forever. Invalid arguments. Grace Clark, SID history, database path, add ADBS SAM account name. Grace Clark, does it have to be in scare quotes? I'm not sure that this is the right thing to do, but we'll soon find out. I also don't have a parameter for database path. Is that necessary? Oh, probably is. And probably the quotes weren't necessary. Right-clicking. And, oh, here we go. Let's go to the end. I'm learning. What's it doing?
What's it doing? It's learning.
Paste. There we go. Yeah, it did, but hopefully that's a good thing, the color change. It changed the syntax highlighting when you added the scare quotes, so it might work now. Maybe. We'll see. No error messages, but again, it didn't congratulate us either. Copy, Control, Shift, V. Hey, it worked. The NTDS database is locked with the NTDS service is running. When the end, okay, we did that, we read that. After these steps have been performed, let's SSH into THM work 1, okay. Verify that the SID history was added and that we now have domain admin privileges. Cool. This should work. I can't imagine anybody would be able to vandalize the server in such a way that this wouldn't work. Right? There's no way. I am super optimistic. I can't even type out THMDC and talk at the same time. THM work 1, not 12. SSH, Grace Clark, .za.tryhackme.loc. Prompt me for a password. Password 1. And now we gotta find our. It's gonna be get AD user or something, right? Yeah. Same commands as previously. Right click. By the way, Trent, I was thinking about your tattoo post, and I'd like to suggest that a leg sleeve from now on be referred to as a pant leg. Because sleeves are shirts and then leg. Anyways. And that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Cannot find an object with identity. Clark Graces. Okay, well that's because such a person does not exist. Can I find Clark Grace? Grace Clark. What is wrong with me? So much head trauma. So yeah, pant legs and downhill is a good thing. Most of the time. Alright, SID history. We have an SID history now. See? Everything is coming up Millhouse. We need some Simpsons memes. Here's one that's kind of
that simple.
kind of apropos. After these steps have been performed, let's SSH into... Well, we did that already. Going to change the world with that kind of thinking? Hopefully. Pitchforks and torches from the blue team. If you were to RDP into one of the hosts and use the AD users and group snapping, you would be able to view the SID history attribute added to your user. However, even with the highest possible privileges, you would not be able to remove the attribute since it is protected. In order to remove this, you would have to use tools such as the AD RSAT PowerShell commandlets to remove SID history. However, before you can even think about removing malicious SID history attributes, you first need to find them. None of the regular tools will tell you that something is wrong. That user will not all of a sudden pop up as a member of the domain admins group. Excuse me. So I think what they're saying is if you search domain admins group, they still won't show up. So unless you are actively filtering through the attributes of your users, this is incredibly hard to find. I think you gotta do it manually. This is because the SID history is only applied and used once the user authenticates. Huh. Alright, good to know. Imagine that you are the blue team dealing with an incident where you have just performed a domain takeback. You rotated the KRBTG account's password twice, removed the golden and silver tickets, excuse me, and rebuilt your entire CA servers from scratch, just to see that the attacker is still performing DA commands with a low privileged account. That would not be a great day. It would be for me, because I am on the red team. What AD object attribute is normally used to specify SIDs from the object's previous domain to allow seamless migration to a new domain? What AD object? It's just SID history, right? Okay. What is the database file on the domain controller that stores all AD information? What is the data NTDS, right? NTDS.dit. What is the PowerShell command to restart the NTDS service after we injected our SID history values? Something start NTDS? Question mark? Let's see here. I'm just going to cheat and look it up. Start service name. All right. Correct answer. Yay. Look at this. We're just blowing by tasks. So much easier when you don't have to worry about getting the flag and doing things right and doing things. So even looking at the user account, you wouldn't find it only if you were looking at the logs of something the user did when the SID was swapped. Crazy. Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. Upshot is it's very difficult to catch them in the act. Let's see. I want to reread this. However, before you can, okay, that user will not all of a sudden. So unless you are actively this is because it only applied and used once the user authenticates. I don't know. I don't think even if you're looking at the logs, maybe it might not be in there. I think they have to be actually logged in and be doing stuff. I'm not sure if I'm interpreting that correctly, but I'll consult with the Oracle later off stream. But I think what they're saying is that they actually have to be logged in. You could see that they were doing things that they shouldn't have permissions to do via the logs, but I don't know if the logs would actually reveal their SID history. AD is really bad with that kind of stuff. It's really easy to hide things like that. You can even hide the existence of users from normal searches. Cool. Persistence through group membership. And maybe that's what you're saying explicit. I'm not entirely sure. Some of this is obviously still a mystery to me. All right, I don't want humans taking jobs away from robots, so let's have her read at least the beginning here. And I gotta switch over to the next cassette tapes here.
If we don't want to tamper with SID histories, we can just add ourselves directly to AD groups for persistence. While SID history is a great persistence technique, credential rotation and cleanup can still remove our persistence. In certain cases, it may be better to perform persistence by targeting the AD groups themselves. Persistence through group membership. As discussed in Task 1, the most privileged account, or group, is not always the best to use for persistence. Privileged groups are monitored more closely for changes than others. Any group that classifies as a protected group, such as domain admins or enterprise admins, receive additional security scrutiny. So if we want to persist through group membership, we may need to get creative regarding the groups we add our own accounts to for persistence. The IT support group can be used to gain privileges such as force-changing user passwords. Although, in most cases, we won't be able to reset the passwords of privileged users, having the ability to reset even low-privileged users can allow us to spread to workstations. Groups that provide local administrator rights are often not monitored as closely as protected groups. With local administrator rights to the correct hosts through group membership of a network support group, we may have good persistence that can be used to compromise the domain again. It is not always about direct privileges. Sometimes groups with indirect privileges, such as ownership over group policy objects, GPOs, can be just as good for persistence. Nested groups. In most organizations, there are a significant amount of recursive groups. A recursive group is a group that is a member of another group. We can think of this as group nesting. Group nesting is used to create a more organized structure in AD. Take the IT support group, for example. IT support is very generic. So perhaps there are subgroups like helpdesk, access card managers, and network managers underneath this group. We can add all of these groups as members to the IT support group, which gives all users in these subgroups the permissions and privileges associated with the IT support group. But we can then assign more granular permissions and privileges for each of the subgroups. While group nesting helps to organize AD, it does reduce the visibility of effective access. Take our IT support example again. If we query AD for membership of the IT support group, it would respond with a count of 3. However, this count is not really true since it is 3 groups. To get an idea for effective access, we would now have to enumerate those subgroups as well. But those subgroups can also have subgroups. So the question becomes, how many layers deep should we enumerate to get the real effective access number? This also becomes a monitoring problem.
Let's see here. Another reason why I'd be hollering to go to AZ already, low. I saw this the first time I was like, Arizona. And then right before you said AZ, I was able to figure it out. We have a couple of accounts that show up in reports and logs, but we can't find them in AD anywhere. And I was about to suggest that there might be service accounts. And I see that you mentioned that previously. And everyone wants to, but we have an AD environment that is 20 years old. Yeah, it's tough to migrate huge operations. We just got rid of our Win Server 2008 server in the last year. And the thing is too, like, I imagine as people adopt Azure and it gets older, like just more and more vulnerabilities will be discovered until the point that it's basically as insecure as AD anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's new and everybody hasn't figured out how to exploit it in the many myriad ways that AD is exploitable, but I think eventually it'll come to be seen as insecure as AD.
Let's say, for instance, we have an alert that fires off when a new member is added to the domain admins group. That is a good alert to have, but it won't fire off if a user is added to a subgroup within the domain admins group. This is a very common problem since AD is managed by the AD team, and alerting and monitoring are managed by the Info SEC team. All we need is a little bit of miscommunication, and the alert is no longer valid since subgroups are used. As an attacker, we can leverage this reduced visibility to perform persistence. Instead of targeting the privileged groups that would provide us with access to the environment, we focus our attention on the subgroups instead. Rather than adding ourselves to a privileged group that would raise an alert, we add ourselves to a subgroup that is not being monitored.
Only a matter of time. Everything that can be done can be undone.
Let's simulate this type of persistence. In order to allow other users also to perform the technique, make sure to prepend your username to all the groups that you create. In order to simulate the persistence, we will create some of our own groups. Let's start by creating a new base group that we will hide in the People-IT Organizational Unit, OU. Let's now create another group in the People-
where are we? Administrator.za, which... Run hostname for me. Try hack me. I imagine we're on the DC with our administrator. Yeah, administrator.za, but theirs is .za, although this room has a bunch of weird mistakes like that. I don't know if they're mistakes exactly, but misleading information. All right, add group path. And that's not output again. This is stuff we have to type in. Nope, stop, go away. Paste, path, name, username, net group. One, username, nest group, okay. Display name, group scope. All right. So I think we can name these anything we want. Oop, I went too far. Oop, I went too far again. Is there supposed to be a space there? I think there's supposed to be a space there. Because the other one has an underscore though. All right, let's see how this works. Didn't get any error messages, so that's good. Continue on, robot.
OU and add our previous group as a member. We can do this a couple more times, every time adding the previous group as a member. With the last group, let's now add that group to the domain admins group. Lastly, let's add our low privilege.
Let's now create another group in People Sales OU and add our previous group as a member. So it's pretty much the same thing, right? Except that sales has changed. And it's now net group. I think they mean nest group, right? Man. I'm glad I'm not the only one making typos. Sales, people. Oh, excuse me. I don't know why I'm so tired. I didn't do anything today. Not like physical stuff. Got plenty of sleep. What? Come on. Path, lock, nest group, SAM account name. Oh my god. Alright, so this is all... I just gotta read this more carefully. And I said too, I was like, oh, this is just like the previous command. And I should have noticed that the previous command was very long, and this one was very short. And maybe something's up with that. Oh, why did I put nest? Because I was just correcting nest. No. Stop. Alright. Looks good. And it is good. It's good. Security is normally seen as a cost center instead of the guys who control all of our data, which is slowly changing. Very true. We do this a couple more times, every time adding the previous group as a member. That's a lot more times. With this last group, let's now add the group to the domain admins group. Let's not and say we did. Lastly, let's add our low privilege AD user to the first group we created. Instantly, your low privilege user should now have privilege access to the THMDC. Let's verify this by using our SSH terminal on THM Work 1. How are we verifying that? We're using the portal command, I think. Alright, so I'm going to skip over that big block. I'm doing my things my way. Although we didn't create a nest group 5, did we? One moment, hold on. I gotta mute everything. My nephew was inviting me to do fireworks. But gotta do this right now. Activities. That's the phrase I've coined for what we're doing here. All right. I'm imagining it's not going to give us. It's going to say there is no nest group 5. All right. So let's just copy and paste this last part about the nest group 5. Unless they're all super nested. Okay. I've got a new plan here. New plan. We do have Nest Group 2, so that's as many as Nest Groups as we need, really. I think I'm doing this right. I think I've got a handle on this. Let's add our low privileged AD user to the first group we created. And then by disjunctive inference, she should be added to group 2 and thereby inherit those domain admin privileges. Hopefully I've got this sussed out. Grace.Clark. Now, do I have to... Oh, what happened? Oh, it's the original. I'm not creating a new nest group. Oh boy. All right. So far, so good. I feel good about this. Instantly, your low privilege user should now have privileged access to THMDC. Let's verify this by using our SSH terminal on THM Work 1. Instantly, it says. So I don't have to do like forced GPU update or GP update or whatever. It says instant. So let's see if that is indeed the case. Dir. So we're doing this porthole trick to see, just test to see if we have the privileges we think we do. What's the over under? How many people say this is going to work? I'm confident it will work. It worked. All right. Let's also verify that even though we created multiple groups, the domain admins group only has one new member. Are we still? No, we're back on our domain controller. Get. I'm going to try to be less lazy about typing things out so I can get some valuable typing experience in, I guess. Identity domain admins. All right, let's see. Did I do that correctly? Because it looks like we have lots more. Oh, I think it means just one new. So we don't want to see Grace Clark here. Tim Taylor, net group 5. Net group 5. Is it supposed to be net group or nest group? I think somebody else has been hard at work adding people to the domain admins group. But you can see that we've got CSMM here, but we don't see Grace Clark. So there, Grace Clark. Everybody else says net group. Is it supposed to be net group or nest group? because we're talking about nesting. Anyways, I think we did good. What is the term used to describe AD groups that are oh, did we not read this part? Anything more than just the blue, annoying more than just the blue team. If this was a real organization, we would not be creating new groups to nest. Instead, we would make use of the existing groups to perform nesting. However, this is something you would never do in a normal red team assessment, and almost always dechain at this point since it breaks the organization's AD structure. Anybody know what they mean by dechaining? Because they've been using that a couple of times now, and I'm not sure I entirely understand what they mean by that. And if we sufficiently break it, they would not be able to recover. At this point, even if the blue team was able to kick us out, the organization would more than likely still have to rebuild their entire AD structure from scratch, resulting in significant damages. Good! Red team forever! What is the term used to describe AD groups that are members of other AD groups? AD groups, nest groups? Or nests groups, maybe? Group nests? Alright, I give up. What is the term used to describe AD groups that are members of other AD groups? Nested groups. That should have occurred to me, huh? Very embarrassing. There we go. No. Still no. It's got to be nested groups. What are they talking about? Five letters, and then 7 letters. Groups nested. No. Group nesting? That can't be it. It shouldn't be it. Yeah, that's incorrect. What is the command to add a new member? THM test to the AD group, THM group. I'm just gonna cheat here. A new member, THM test. Doesn't look like there's enough letters here to make this work. What is the command to add a new member THM test to the AD group THM group? THM test is 7 letters, and nothing here has 7 letters. Unless with the quotes it's gonna make it 9. THM test. THM group, THM. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously that is incorrect, but I'm kind of grasping at straws here. When's the committee add a new member? THM test to the AD group, THM group. Oh, you know what the problem is? Here's the problem. I'm counting all the stars, and of course they're being truncated because my screen is snapped. I rely too heavily on the little hidden asterisks. Thank you to Trent for helping me come to my senses. Alright. Persistence through ACLs. We are just flying through these tasks. This has to do with the MMC, huh? I think we're going to have to RDP and a bunch of other acronym stuff. All right, robot. Task 7, take it away. Gotta slip to the next, switch to the next side of the cassette here.
Sometimes, we need more than just persisting to normal AD groups. What if we want to persist to all protected groups simultaneously? Persisting through AD group templates. While we can just add an account we control to every single privileged group we can find, the blue team would still be able to perform cleanup and remove our membership. In order to ensure a bit better persistence and make the blue team scratch their heads, we should rather inject into the templates that generate the default groups. By injecting into these templates, even if they remove our membership, we just need to wait until the template refreshes, and we will once again be granted membership. One such template is the admin SD holder container. This container exists in every AD domain, and its access control list, ACL, is used as a template to copy permissions to all protected groups. Protected groups include privileged groups such as domain admins, administrators, enterprise admins, and schema admins. If you are looking for the full list of groups, you can find them here. A process called SDProp takes the ACL of the admin SD holder container and applies it to all protected groups every 60 minutes. We can thus write an ACE that will grant us full permissions on all protected groups. If the blue team is not aware that this type of persistence is being used, it will be quite frustrating. Every time they remove the inappropriate permission on the protected object or group, it reappears within the hour. Since this reconstruction occurs through normal AD processes, it would also not show any alert to the blue team, making it harder to pinpoint the source of the persistence. Persisting with admin SD holder. In order to deploy our persistence to the admin SD holder, we will use Microsoft Management Console, MMC. To avoid kicking users out of their RDP sessions, it will be best to RDP into THMWRK1 using your low-privileged credentials, use the run as command to inject the administrator credentials, and then execute MMC from this new terminal. Run as /netonly/user, thumbchild.tryhack.lock /administrator command exe.
Alright, I wonder if they're taking into account that our low-privileged user is no longer a low-privileged user. But I imagine that doesn't really matter, since they're not aware that it's a low-privileged user. So we get a RDP, yeah? RDP into THM work 1. Oh boy, I don't think, because I had to rebuild my virtual box. I don't know if I still have the history for X-Free. Oh, I do. Good old run as, yep. We've seen that quite a little bit in our compromising AD travels. What's our, is it 86? And we want THM work 1. What was it, 248? It would probably arouse less suspicion if we kick off a low-level user. And they won't know what to do about it. Might not arouse suspicions as much. Yeah, 248. Huh. I remember that. Just by glancing at it yesterday. And our user is Grace Clark. Grace.Clark. I do trust it's who needs Ramina? Alright, so now we gotta do the run as command from... Oh, Alexa, how much time is left?
There are no timers set. You have one alarm going off in 1 minute.
1 minute for the alarm. Thanks for reminding me, though. Because previously we left the room and then joined the room, and it was a whole different time span for the network to go down. Words making is tough. Tough words making it is. Do you know I used to speak 3 languages? I can't even speak English anymore. In order to deploy, blah, blah, blah. All right. Did I copy this already? I did. Alexa, stop. Alexa, set an alarm for 1 hour. We're not going to spend another hour on this.
1 hour alarm set for 10:18 p.m.
Enter the password for THM Child DC, Track Me Administrator. Why is it asking us for the, I guess... Are we doing this right? RDP into THM Work 1 using your low privilege credentials. Done. All right. So they do indeed need the administrator's passwords here. Where'd my windows go? Control V, I think, will work. All right, and now we go into MMC, right? Then execute MMC from, MMC. All right, once you have robot, take it away. I don't want to talk anymore. I'm giving up on talking. I give up.
Once you have an MMC window, add the users and groups snap-in. File-add snap-in-active directory users and computers. Make sure to enable advanced features, view-advanced features. We can find the admin SD holder group under domain-system. Navigate to the security of the group. Right-click -properties-security.
All right, don't get too far ahead of me there. Let's move this a little bit to the right. Console root. File. Add remove snap-in. Active Directory users, right? No. Users and computers, yep. I'm not doing this correctly. One of the things does not look like the other. What have I done incorrectly? Once you have an add the users and groups in the snap-in. Add remove snap-in. Okay, so we do add that, and then it will appear in this other window, and it will look like what we have on the left. Is that the case? It is the case. Except for that they don't have the saved queries. za.tryhackme. That's not what has gone wrong. I have to view advanced something. Make sure to enable advanced features. Oh, view up here. View. Very embarrassing. View. There's plenty of views, but no advanced features. We got too many ZA Tri-Hack Me lokes here. Properties. Maybe it's under properties. Let's remove this. Let's start all over. Is there supposed to be a console root snap in already here? Is that from a previous task? Should it be here? All right, anyways. Add the users and group snap in. Make sure to enable advanced features. Okay. I'm seeing advanced features now. No. We can find the admin SD holder group under domain system. All right, if you say so. It's the third from the top? Oh, did I have it right previously? I had it right previously, right? So I don't know. Maybe I didn't have it right previously because saved queries is showing up. Okay, I did not have it right previously. Most of my problems today have come from the fact that my windows aren't maximized and I can't read the entire thing. Good save once again, Trent. I appreciate it. All right, servers, admin. Wait. System, not servers. There's no system though. Now view advanced. Oh, now advanced features is available to us. Excellent. Now system is available to us. What's it doing? It's learning. I am learning. Let's move this over a little bit. Admin, SD holder. I think I'm starting to peter out here, so this will be the last task. I can tell when I'm dwindling. Navigate to the security of the group. Right-click Properties, Security. Done and done. Let's add our low privilege user and grant full control. Click. Wait, we want a low privileged user. Where is she? Self? Is it just self? Let's add everyone just to really sow chaos. Can I search for somebody? Group or usernames? Click add, search for, okay. Oh, I remember screwing this up a lot last time. Grace.Clark. Check names. Check names. Okay. Click add. Click allow full control. Did I add her already? Do I have to click add again? Let's click add again just to be safe. Nope, let's not click add. And now let's hit apply. And let's hit OK. It should look something like this. It does look like that. SD prop. Now we just need to wait 60 minutes and our user will have... Wait 60 minutes? Our user will have full control over all protected groups. This is because the security descriptor propagator service executes automatically every 60 minutes and will propagate this change to all protected groups. She's added. Yep. I remember... What? No, I gave her full control, didn't I? Was it property security? Where'd she go? I've lost her already. Oh, here she is. Yep, full control, see? And now what? This is because it will have 60 minutes propagate this change to all protected. However, since we do not like to wait, let's kick off the process manually using PowerShell in C tools directory script. Invoke ADSD propagation is provided. Once done, give it a minute. Where are we supposed to be? Is it on this computer that we have the tools? Let's find out. I'm not seeing it. A script, invoke. I don't think it's on this computer. Hi, Shan, ABG. What is the task? We are on task. We're just blowing through these tasks. We're on task 7, persisting through ACLs. We're using AD group templates because they propagate every 60 minutes. So even if they kick us out, we're just going to keep coming back, turning up like a bad penny. All right. Let me just see. Yeah. So they probably should have told us we need to be on the domain controller all of a sudden. Yeah? Huh? Maybe? A little heads up there? It's okay. I forgive you. Import module. Oh wait, import module. Can we run that from the... No, hold on. Can we run this from our RDP session? I didn't think so. Come on, just paste. Work with me here. And then I'm gonna get a little typing practice in here and see how I do. Invoke ADSD propagation. All right, once done, give it a minute and then review the security permissions of a protected group, such as the domain admins group. You can search the command to find this group. You can use the search command to find this group. We didn't get to use Mimikatz this time around because they have an older version that doesn't allow us to patch LSAD memory, LDAS memory, for the purposes of what we need to do. You can patch LDAS memory, but not for what we need to do. All right, I've given it a minute. Now I am going to review the security permissions of a protected group such as the main admin group. I gotta check on the chat and make sure there's not kicking out. Hold on. I'm back. Sorry about that, but cats always come first, no matter what. All right, so where was I? What is my privilege now? So we were using a low privilege user named Grace Clark, but we've now given her all the power and authority of an administrator. And we're going to make sure she keeps that power by messing with some of these templates that repopulate and rise like a phoenix every 60 minutes. All right, but where was I? It should look something like this. We got that S3 prop. Sorry, I stopped off to steal some candy. This is because the security descriptor propagator service executes, yep, invoke. And Trent, you said that I think you have to run it for PowerShell on the RDP session and find the group in AD. Oh, supposedly it's in tools, and it doesn't look like it's in tools on this computer. But I'll try it. Oh, and I wasn't in PowerShell on the other server either, huh? It's like the 4th of July. It's like the 11th of July out there. Let's see here. Oops, too many pasting. I don't think it doesn't say anything about copying it to the THM work server either, so I think we've done what we needed to do. But let's check it out. Once done, give it a minute and then review the security permissions of a protected group such as the domain admins group. You can search the command to find this group. Use the search command. New messages, hold on. I am correct. Let's withhold judgment. Wait until we get to the end, and then we'll see how correct I am or not. It makes sense. However, let's see here. Okay, what am I doing? Search for, I can just search for groups, huh? Just search for groups. Can you just go back to the admin? Okay. Review the security of protected groups such as the main admins group. Can I just go groups here? That's not the same as domain. Where am I supposed to search? Select the domain first before searching. Okay. Are they in here? Domain admins group. Find now. And what am I supposed to be looking at? As can be seen, our low privilege user has full control over the group. Have we seen this? Members. Where's Grace? Hey, there's CSMM. I'm not saying a low privileged user. All these Net Group 5 and Net Group 2 people, I think, are Tri-Hackney students. Because they've misspelled nest as net. But I'm only saying CSM, Nest Group, and I'm part of Nest Group 2 because I didn't bother to go through this ridiculous rigmarole, and neither did Sylvia Robinson. Cancel out and refresh AD, then try again. I'm concerned that maybe I wasn't correct with the running of the whatchamacallit. Excuse me. I might have done ADSD propagation incorrectly. I didn't do it from PowerShell. Oh no, I did do it from PowerShell. I don't know. I'm starting to fade here and lose concentration. Should I just leave entirely? Sure, save. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's get another MMC here. Oh, wait, can I just go back here? I guess I can. All right, I meant to do that. Groups. Find. Domain admins. Find now. Let's browse groups. Okay. Just use the change that drop down from the groups to the main. Domain. Domain admins. Members. Maybe managed by? Is this a search? Great. No, it's not a search field, is it? I mean, we've got our wait, what's that? Okay. As can be seen, our low privilege user has full control over the group. I cannot see that. You can verify that this will continue to propagate by removing your user from the security permissions and rerunning the PowerShell script. User will be added again. Interestingly, although we have permissions to modify the group, does not automatically add us to the group. However, using our new permissions, we can add ourselves to the group. Aren't we our low privilege user, or are we the administrator? Security tab, okay. Domain, security tab. Oh, good call. There we are. Why? Thanks once again, Trent. I appreciate it. So even though we're not a member, we have full control over it. Okay. It's all making sense now. Let's remove ourselves and rerun that command. And let's check back and see if we pop up again. Yep, we did. Cool. One more time. And we're back. All right. And if you guys are wondering how I managed to do that, wait a second. Go back. Hold on.
So how did you do it?
Do what?
Break the code.
I used a password sniffer.
I used a password cipher. All right, enough nonsense. Let's just get on with the questions. It is going downhill for the blue team. Imagine combining this with the nesting groups of the previous task. Just as the blue team finished revoking your access through numerous group changes, 60 minutes later, you can just do it all again. Unless the blue team understands that the permissions are being altered through the admin SD holder group, they would be scratching their heads every 60 minutes. Since the persistence propagates through a legitimate AD service, they would most likely be none the wiser every time it happens. If you really want to persist, you can grant full control to the domain users group in the admin SD holder group, which means any low privilege user would be granted full control over all protected groups. All right. Used to get coffee at the cafe they filmed a scene in? Oh, that's pretty cool. That movie was partially filmed in the town I used to live in. That is cool. This has been... All these tasks have been pretty awesome in terms of just unmitigated, crazy, chaotic power. Chaotic evil, which is my alignment. Ventura, California. Cool. Not a great movie outside of Halle Berry or whatever. If you really want to persist, you can grant okay. Combining this with a full DC sync means the blue team will have to reset every single credential in the domain to flush us out completely. Cool. All right. Well, you can tell I finished strong there with a reading, and I didn't make many mistakes. But throughout some of this task, I was starting to fade, and we had that unscheduled 10 or 20 minute break where I went to go make sure my cat was okay. So I think we're going to answer these questions and then be done with it. What 80 groups ACLs are used as a template for the ACLs of all protected group? What 80 groups ACLs access control lists are used as a template? What 8 domain admins? No. What group? California has gone downhill pretty quickly, I must say. I was only ever there once on a vacation. I was accompanying a friend of mine, a wealthy Kuwaiti. He was going around buying up classic cars to import back to Kuwait. And at that time, California was still pretty cool. Admin SD holder. I was just about to say admin SD holder. And or import module invoke ADSD propagation. .ps1. Admin SD holder. Admin's D holder. Sounds vaguely obscene. What AD service updates the ACLs of all protected groups to match that of the template? What service updates all the ACLs? I know I should know this. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I've probably made mention on the stream a number of times that I used to live overseas in Korea and Kuwait at different times. No, don't tell me. SD prop? Short for propagate? Stands to reason. Sorry, it slipped. Your fingers just slipped in a very specific way to type out SD prop. All right, what ACL permission allows the user to perform any action on the AD object? What ACL permission? Why don't I know any of these? I feel like I didn't absorb any of the information the robot lady told us. What ACL permission allows the user to perform any action on the AD object? Prop something. I'm just gonna have to reread this on my own time. The other stuff seemed to sink in pretty well, but not this stuff. $20 of 27. This may be a problem. In this access control list is used as a template to copy permissions to all protected groups. Protected groups include, okay. The process called SD prop takes the ACL, and that's right, an ACE that will grant us access control. What? What's the E stand for? That will grant us full permissions on it. Okay. ACL of the admin SD holder. AD process. It's not clicking. If I've already read it, probably it's not. Missions and ACE something, right? Maybe. You gave it to Grace to give access to AD. You gave it to Grace. Now that you're giving me hints, like the pressure is just making me freeze up completely. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Let me queue up the, it can't be that easy.
Can't be that simple.
I was reading that wrong, guys. Please don't think, please don't think less of me. All right, persistence through group policy objects. Let's just look at this real quick. No, this is more work than I want to take on. All right. All right. That's it for tonight. We did pretty well. I'm happy with most of our performance tonight. Thank you to Trent for a number of saves, keeping me on track to complete the tasks. Lots of distractions in the last little bit, yeah. All right. Very good. I'm at a loss for words at this point. Fun stream, man. Thanks as always. Yeah, today it was fun because we did well. And we were joined by Cheyenne, and Explicit rejoined us. I was worried that he had left us forever because of our poor performance. When I say our poor performance, I'm using the royal we, of course. I'm referring to myself in the third person as a king would, or a crazy person, probably the latter. Thank you to Trent and everybody. It is time to go for a bug bounty. I'm not there yet. Hopefully soon. TCM, which we have been plugging regularly on tonight's stream, I think has kind of like a web pen testing, which is tangential to bug bounties. They have a course on that and a certificate they offer now for that. So that might be what I pursue after PNPT. All right, thank you once again, and we did pretty well. So I'm going to give us Hack the Planet ×2 on our way out.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
And a call.
Hackers of the world unite.
Hackers of the world unite. They just started that. Yeah, it's brand new, and I think they were offering a discount on it because it was new. But of course, if you look in the Cyberspaceman Mike Discord, we have an education channel, and it relays information about new certs, new courses, and any sort of discounts and sales that are available to our members in that channel. So check that out. All right. Once again, thank you to everybody. With that, I'm just going to say goodbye. All right. Thanks. Goodbye.